NFL fans, welcome back to the J All Day Sports Show. I have a great prediction video for you guys today. Week 5, all the games on this slate with scores. We got to remember, the byes are finally starting this week. The Lions, the Eagles, the Chargers, the Titans, they are all on byes this week. So if that's one of your favorite teams, they're not playing this week. All right, so let's get into these other games. Week 5 predictions with scores. Let's get into it. We kick off Week 5 with a really fun division game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Atlanta Falcons, right? The Buccaneers had a big bounce back win against the Philadelphia Eagles. From pillar to post, they kicked the Eagles' butts, man. It wasn't even a game. The Eagles looked unspirited. Jalen Hurts continues to turn the ball over. They were missing A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Lane Johnson, but the Buccaneers took care of business, and let's take a look at this game. All right, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business again. The only reason why the Atlanta Falcons won that game is because Shaheed muffed the ball in the end zone. Atlanta picked it up in the end zone, got 7 points. That was the difference. They had a last-second field goal, barely won the game. Kirk Cousins did not play well. If you look at the box score from time of possession to penalties to third down efficiency, the Saints outplayed them the entire game. Derek Carr had a big turnover. The Rashid Shaheed fumble in the end zone. Now the Saints lose. Falcons win. I think the Buccaneers, they're starting to get healthy. We saw how big of a factor Vita Vea was in that game, right? He's going to be another huge factor. I expect Vita Vea and Todd Bowles to blitz up the middle a lot in this game. Disrupt Kirk Cousins, get him out of the pocket, flush him out. Because he's very immobile right now, guys. That injury is still not 100% healed. He doesn't want to take off and pick up first downs. He's strictly throwing from the pocket. He's not as accurate outside the pocket. I look for the Buccaneers to take advantage of that and win this game 23-20. All right, let's move on to another game that's a lot of fun. New York Jets, Minnesota Vikings. This game is in London, everyone, so no home field advantage. The Jets looked really bad last week, right? In that piss and rain game against the Broncos. How you lose to a team who threw for 60 passing yards in an entire NFL game still blows my mind. One of the worst losses in Aaron Rodgers' career. He got banged up. He got beat up in that game. The offensive line really missed Morgan Moses in this game. So we'll have to see if he's going to play. I don't think he's going to. And the Minnesota Vikings are rolling right now. Sam Darnold is probably the MVP of the NFL right now. Another huge game last week. Jordan Addison came back. That's even better for this offense. Going to make them even more effective. They just got a great they're playing great complementary football. Aaron Jones is running the ball effectively. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I like the Minnesota Vikings. I think they dominate this game. I'm saying 27-13. The Vikings get a big victory in London. Let's move on to the Cleveland Browns at the Washington Commanders. The Cleveland Browns continue to not do anything well. They can't run the ball. They can't pass the ball. The defense has consistently been banged up. I like the Commanders' juju right now, man. Yo, my dog, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels! Woo, baby! Dude is on fire. Cliff Kingsbury has him firing on all cylinders. And Dan Quinn is getting the most out of a very mediocre at best Commanders defense, right? But oh my gosh, Brian Robinson Jr., Terry McLaurin, I just like everything that's going on in Washington right now, except the defense. They obviously are still cheeks, but you don't have to worry about that because the Browns' offense is inept. They're incapable. They can't score points. I look for the Commanders to win a closer game than some people might think. I'm saying 24-17 for the Commanders. I believe in momentum in this league. And the Browns are playing unspirited football right now. They just don't look like they want to be there. I'm going with the Commanders to keep it rolling. Baltimore Ravens on the road taking on the Bengals. The Bengals got their first win against a terrible Panthers team. But if you look at this defense, the Bengals are still giving up a ton of yards. Chuba Hubbard had over 100 yards. I think it was 5.8 yards per carry. What is Derrick Henry going to do? Come on. Derrick Henry is going to have another monster game along with Lamar Jackson. I think combined they rush for over 200 yards, probably pretty easily in this game. And the Ravens, I don't know. The Ravens defense hasn't been great so far, even though they played great last week against the Bills. We'll have to see if they can keep that going, right? I'm saying 28-17. The Ravens get it done, and the Bengals score like a touchdown or a field goal in garbage time to make it a little bit closer. But the Ravens are going to control this game, especially because the Bengals defense has been horrific all year long. They continue to get shredded on the ground, and Derrick Henry is going to ball out in this spot. All right, Buffalo Bills, Houston Texans. Buffalo Bills are coming off a blowout loss. Josh Allen got beat up bad in this game. I don't know how healthy he's going to be going into this game. And you got to play a tough road game, man. A very, very tough road game. Going into Houston is always really loud there. But the Houston Texans haven't been playing great football, man. Tons of penalties. Larney Tunsil, the starting left tackle for the Houston Texans. The dude is 6'1", 350,000 pounds, the biggest guy on the field. And they're playing the Jaguars, and this guy's got red gloves on that you could see from outer space. He had like 6 penalties on him this week, holding calls, false starts. Tunsil, hey dude, you're one of the most highest paid players in the league at left tackle. Use your brain a little bit. You're playing the Jaguars at home. That means the Jaguars are wearing white uniforms. Maybe take off the space station flags on both of your hands. Come on, dude. Just use your brain. Take off the red gloves. Hey, D'Amico Ryans, when you're at home playing a road team in white jerseys, have your guys take off the red gloves. Good Lord. It's just like common sense. They're calling flags left and right. You're the most penalized team in the NFL, and you're running around the field with half your team with red gloves on going against white jerseys. I couldn't believe my eyes. Unbelievable. I think the Texans do steal this game, though. C.J. Stroud continues to ball out. He's getting more efficient. I think Joe Mixon will be back in this game, and that's going to pay dividends. This is going to be a close game. 24-23, the Texans nip it out at the end with a field goal to beat the Buffalo Bills. All right, Panthers at the Bears. The Panthers came back down to earth. They're the stinky Panthers again. Chuba Hubbard's been running the ball pretty well, but the Bears' run defense, not too bad. They're like middle of the pack. Played better last week. The defense has been playing better. Oh, it's tough to pick the Bears because I don't really believe in Caleb Williams so far, but Keenan Allen coming back was huge for that offense. I think the Bears win a close game like 16-17. I'm going with the Bears. 17-16. They win this game barely. Panthers cover the spread, but the Panthers not having Adam Thielen is a huge loss. Thielen is a great player, especially on third down, helping your team move the sticks, and on early downs, like first down, catching those 6 to 8 yard passes, so you're second and short, third and short, right? That's a huge void in that offense now, right? They have Xavier Legette and Deontay Johnson, but they're not necessarily move the sticks type of guys. We'll have to see how Chuba Hubbard looks in this game if he can continue that success. Where's Miles Sanders? He looked great with the Birds, and he's been MIA, and they're paying him a lot of money to absolutely not be good at football. Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars are still winless. And look, I'm looking at my injury report that I typed out for you guys. Josh Hines-Allen is in concussion protocol. He got out of that game last week versus Houston. So if Hines-Allen doesn't play, I'm going with the Colts in a slam dunk, whether or not Anthony Richardson plays or not. He got a hip stinger, it looks like, so he's probably going to play, right? I like the Colts in this spot, especially plus 124 against a winless team. And it's not like they have home field advantage, really. I'll have to check the weather to see how hot it is in Jacksonville, because in Tampa Bay versus the Eagles, the Eagles players were like dying in that weather, man. Over 100 degrees on the field with that humidity. We'll have to check out the weather report later in this week just to make sure. But I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence. I don't believe in this offense, especially the offensive line. And the Colts defense had a big win versus a really tough Steelers team last week. So maybe they're starting to turn the page. And I'll take Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco over Trevor Lawrence all day. And Trevor Lawrence continues to be the most overrated, overpaid quarterback in the NFL. The dude can't win you games. When you're paying a guy $40, $50, $60 million a year, they need to be able to win you games. Trevor Lawrence can't do that. The Jaguars' defense, especially without Hines Allen, is going to be terrible. Their secondary stinks. I look for the Colts to get some deep balls, win this game. Close-ish game. I'm saying maybe more of a shootout type of game. Let's go 28-23. The Colts get a road victory. The Dolphins versus the Patriots. Man, this is going to be hard to watch football, guys. But the Miami Dolphins look unspirited. Tua being out is just, that whole team looks sapped of energy, sapped of motivation. They've just been dealing with a lot of drama in the locker room from the early stuff happening on in the early parts of the year or whatever. And they just don't look together. The coach just seems to be grasping at straws, trying to get this offense going. The run game was completely ineffective last night against the Titans, who were missing Jeffrey Simmons, their best player on defense. So I thought they were going to be able to run the ball a little more effectively with A-Chain, but they were not. The quarterback play is horrific. I think this is going to be, a close game, low-scoring game. I'm saying 13-10. The Patriots sneak it out on a last-second field goal. I just like the Patriots' defense. I don't know how the Dolphins score points in this game. Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers. We saw the 49ers are starting to get healthy. Just when you're like, oh, they're getting healthy. Fred Warner got hurt. He had that big interception last week. He's just such a good player, man. This is why you need good linebackers, Howie Roseman of the Philadelphia Eagles. This GM, God, that defense sucks for the Eagles, but I'll talk about the Eagles in another video. But I love the 49ers in this spot to get a big win. Purdy, Kittle. Did you see Kittle catch that ball with like 8 guys on him, just jumped up and just, hey, man, caught the ball? Yeah, George Kittle is a dog. Capital D. Dude, I love George Kittle. I love his energy. He's just so damn good at football. I love George Kittle. Let's clap it up for George Kittle because, oh my gosh, he is unbelievably talented. And this team, we just see what a difference having Debo and Kittle is for Purdy in this offense. I think they dominate this game. The Cardinals' defense is not very good. The offense is definitely coming back down to earth. They haven't been so good. I'm not a big Kyler Murray guy. I'm saying 31-17, 49ers get a big dub at home. Raiders, Broncos, another dumpster fire game. How the Broncos won that game last week. Oh my goodness. Aaron Rodgers, bro. You're the dude going on everybody's podcast saying this. How about you talk about how you lost to a rookie quarterback who threw for 60 yards? Come on, Aaron Rodgers. Oh my gosh. All those pre-snap penalties. Yo, Robert Saleh is a horrible coach. He's going on saying that maybe we need to scale back the hard counts from Aaron Rodgers. How about you have a bunch of players that are professional football players who know what the snap count is before you get up to the line of scrimmage? How about there's some accountability in the room, Robert Saleh. How about that? And you don't have these overgrown, overpaid offensive linemen jumping off sides on every play, man. False starts out the wazoo. Oh my God, the Jets. Oh my God. But the Denver Broncos aren't very good. I like the talent more on the Raiders. Can they win a big road game? They had a nice home win versus the Browns, another sloppy game. This is going to be a very similar game to that. I'm going 2016. But I like the Raiders in this spot. But there's a big but. No Max Crosby and no Devontae Adams. I'm flipping my pick to the Broncos. But if Devontae Adams and Max Crosby are healthy and play in this game, I'm going with the Raiders 2016. Green Bay Packers versus the Rams. Matt Stafford has talk about carrying a team on your back. He's got 100 dead bodies on his back, and he's just trying to climb up Mount Everest with all these injuries to the offensive line and the skill position players. Kyron Williams has been playing pretty good, but Stafford and him can't do it all. The Packers almost came back and won that game. I think they're going to be hungry. Christian Watson got carted off with an ankle injury, but luckily for them, they have a slew of young wide receivers, so that's not going to affect them too much. I like the Packers in this game. I know I'm picking a lot of road teams this week, but home field advantage hasn't really been there this year early for whatever reason. It's going to be a close game. I'm saying 24-23 Packers, but if the Rams won this game, I wouldn't be surprised. But the Packers defense is coming along slowly but surely, and I I just like the Packers. They're just a better football team right now, but you can't ever count out Sean McVay. He's just such a good coach. It's going to be a close game, 24-23 Packers. Next up, we got the Giants at the Seahawks. This is the slam dunk game of the week, I think. The Seahawks got screwed by the refs twice in that game in the fourth quarter. The first being that unbelievably ridiculous offensive pass interference call on Lockett when he was nowhere near the play. Geno Smith is as cool as a cucumber gets in the NFL, right? I never seen him scream at a referee until last night. That's how egregious of a call that was. Then, the next drive in the end zone, Metcalf's trying to catch a touchdown, and the guy is literally draped on his back, piggyback riding DK Metcalf right in front of a referee. No call. They slowed down the replay. The guy's on his back. The ball's not even in the frame yet. Clear pass interference. They should have got the ball at the one. No call. The NFL referees are so bad at their job. It's a joke. But I like the Seahawks to win this game. Malik Neighbors is in concussion protocol, and without Malik Neighbors, this Giants team gets blown out. It might be a little bit closer because the Seahawks defense did not look too good in that game. Jared Goff was perfect all game long. Jared Goff at home is a dog. Don't bet against Jared Goff at home, that's for sure. But I like the Seahawks in this spot to get a W. Next up, Cowboys at the Steelers. Yeah, the Steelers are dealing with a ton of injuries, guys. James Daniels, the right guard, he's out indefinitely. Fautano's on IR. Nate Herbig, he's on IR. Highsmith is out versus the Cowboys. He is opposite pass rusher of TJ Watt. Sayamalu's questionable for this game, coming back after a pec injury. I don't know if he's 100%. I don't want to do this, but I'm thinking the Cowboys steal one on the road here, man. Justin Fields, a couple turnovers last week. He's still been pretty efficient, not throwing interceptions, but I don't know. This is going to be a close game. This game could go either way. A lot of injuries on both sides because the Cowboys, Micah Parsons is probably not going to play. Lawrence is out of this game 100%. So I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers would be more effective running the ball against the Colts, but those injuries on the offensive line are really starting to pile up. And if you can't run the ball against the Colts, who can you run the ball against? Because the Colts have been an abomination against the run. I think it's a close game, a sloppy game, low-scoring game, 17-14. Dallas Cowboys get a road win. I'll have to see how some of these injuries kind of play out, but I like for CeeDee Lamb to ball out in this game. It's going to be a sloppy, dogfight, low-scoring game, 17-14 Cowboys. All right, NFL fans, wrapping up Week 5. We got the Saints on the road versus the Chiefs. The Saints should have won that game against the Falcons last week. A lot of self-inflicted wounds. Shaheed fumbling that ball in the end zone cost them that game 100%. The Chiefs, no Pacheco. He's done. And Rashee Rice gets hurt on a freak play after a Mahomes interception. Trying to make a tackle. Mahomes runs into Rashee Rice, tears his ACL. He's out indefinitely. I like the Saints to win this game on the road. Kelsey looks old. The blonde bomber, what's his name? Carson Steele or whatever his name is. He's got the fumbles. Kareem Hunt is not what he was 5 years ago. You know what I mean? This team is going to struggle against a pretty good Saints defense, right? They're going to struggle moving the football. I think Kelsey looks old. I don't know how this offense is effective in this game. I like the Saints to win a close game. Let's say 24-20. Saints win this game on the road and Chiefs get their first loss. They're banged up, man. They can't keep winning every game, especially against a good Saints team. Hopefully good Derek Carr shows up. 24-17 goes to Saints. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget, if you're interested in joining my memberships, check out the description down below. Every Friday, I give out my Survivor picks. All my bets, we crushed it last week with Commanders bets and Viking money line bets. So if you're interested in that, check it out in the description below. If not, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button, and we'll catch you next week. Thank you guys. Peace.